All right, everyone, it is noon on a Wednesday. We want to say Happy New Year to those of us, or those of you that are joining us today. We're thrilled to have you here, and 2023 is going to be jam-packed with lots of new and exciting lunch and learn topics. Today, we're going to be going through 3DR with Mack Kowalski, and he's going to be taking us through some of the cleaning tools that are found in 3DR. Now, I want to mention to everybody, the 3DR series has been one of our most popular. We will be expanding and continuing to bring you more in this particular series. Mack is absolutely a guru in operating in this very powerful platform. So please stay tuned. We're a little bit late on getting some of these onto our website, but we will have them up in the forthcoming days. So keep your eye on our Eventbrite page and your emails from Kuker-Ranken, and you'll know which lunch and learns are coming up next. Well, that's all I have for the moment. So we're going to go ahead and turn it right straight over to Mack with 3DR cleaning tools. Mack, take it away.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this hump hour of your hump day. Before we get too into it, I wanted to draw attention to our calendars, which finally come in. They are, let's see if we can do this now. Right behind me here, you'll see we have our new calendar in stock. So if you guys want one, feel free to reach out to your rep and we'll get you one sent. They're really handy to have them around, and they're really easy to use. You can see multiple months in a row with useful information about the products that we sell. So that's enough about that. Go ahead and switch back over. All right. So as we get into our presentation, share screen here. I do not have ability to share my screen right now.
Great day. Always sunny. Unbelievable.
Oh, I thought we had that checked. Hang on just a second, Mack, and I'll get that set up for you.
All right. Sorry about this, people.
That's entirely on me here.
There we go.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And here we go. All right. So, sorry about that. That's so. So, the cleaning tools. If you haven't been to presentations before you will see a QR code that you can scan, and that gives in my contact information, KR's contact information. Feel free to reach out whenever you want about any questions about this stuff. You'll also see it at the bottom right-hand corner of most of the slides. As we get into these cleaning tools for 3DR, I will show you first the slide that has the process, and then we'll actually show you the process. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before you see 3DR's clean tab. If you look up at the top right, I have an arrow pointing to that question mark. If you click that question mark, it will take you to their help. If you ever have any questions, feel free to hit that and it will go directly to their help section. You can find what you're looking for in there generally. Also, if you select any of these tools, on the left-hand side here, there should be a question mark, and that will take you directly to that tool inside the help section. We have also shared the web address. If you want to go directly to that, you can just copy that web address and take you there. All right, so there are manual and automatic tools. If you were with me on the last 3DR class we went over the auto classification tools. That's the automatic tools. Today, we're going to go into the more manual tools, the more step-by-step, the deep cleaning, more or less. They offer a lot of different approaches that can tackle any challenge. If you've been around point clouds, you know they all behave a little bit differently, and sometimes a tool works great on one point cloud and it doesn't work very well on the other. They offer tools to back up those tools in case the first one doesn't work. They're very intuitive. They're usually just one button, make slight adjustments here or there, and super fast. With that, we'll go ahead and get into the first one. Clean separate. This is a very basic select clean tool. It's more manual than most of the other tools. You'll choose the selection method. You're going to refine your selection. You're going to select exactly what you want, and then you're either going to choose to delete, keep, or split that. And we're going to show you that process right now. So you select the point cloud, go into the clean separate tool, which is in the top left. Right now, we're going to isolate the fountain. The first tool you can select is a free draw tool, and that will select everything you see in that free draw that you do. The next one is a polygon tool, and this is similar to the free select, except it's lines. And then you hit enter. That is now selected. In this view, it will select everything that is in that view. We'll refine it later to make sure we only select the fountain. This is the square tool with 2 clicks, well, 3 clicks. Click, go right, click over, click down, you have a square. The circle, you click in the center, draw out, click again, and it will create that circle. If you notice, it actually creates a polygon tool, but super easy to use. And we're going to go back into my favorite tool, which is the polygon. I feel like it gives us the most control possible. We're going to go ahead and select the fountain. And then we're going to rotate our view. And we're going to refine it by taking and dragging it to create an actual box around just what we want to keep. This is handy to do in case you don't want to catch, if there's another layer of scan underneath it, you don't catch that data and delete that. All right, so we're going to delete it first, just to show you. This will delete what's selected. There we go. We're going to undo it. If you keep, it'll keep only that is which is selected, or split. This is the one I use mostly. This will split it into 2 separate point clouds, and you can keep both. That way you don't really delete any data that you might need later. So I hit OK, and now we have 2 separate point clouds, whereas 1 before. If you guys recognize this from our last one, this is all BLK Gen 2 data sent to us from Leica in Europe. Beautiful data. All right, so the next one is separate by distance. This one's a little bit trickier to find. You will select the point cloud and the BIM model. Make sure you select the point cloud, hit Control, select the BIM model too. Then go to separate with, drop the menu down and say separate according to distance. Leica actually has a very good video on this, this process. It's about 30 minutes long. We're going to show it to you quite a bit quicker here. And when it pulls up its menu, you're going to set the distance threshold. What that means is you're going to say, I want anything that is this distance away from the model to be cleaned out of the point cloud. We'll choose which point clouds to create. I always select preview first, and if we're happy with it, we hit OK. All right, so we have our BIM model showing, and you can barely see the scan data. So we're going to go ahead and make it a little more transparent so we see what we are working with here. We select the BIM model, we select the point cloud, and then we go to clean separate, or separate with, and then separate according to distance. Right now we have it set to 0.08, so anything that is 1 inch away from the model is going to be separated out. And we'll show you that right now. Took 26 seconds to do this. It's a little hard to tell on this screen because we have green and dark green. So we'll be able to turn them off here and show the difference here. What we're hovering over right now is that the 2 created point clouds. We're turning one off, turn the other one off. If we don't want to create a separate point cloud, we can uncheck those, but we want to keep both right now. If you can see right now, everything that's not important to the scan data, i.e. the framework, the drop-down gear from the trailing gear from the formwork going up is all separated out, and we can just, if we were to hit OK here, it would be a separate point cloud, and we get rid of it, and we have just good data to work with. All right, split ground points. Now, this is one that we use coming from a concrete background. This is one I personally use quite often because it gets me down to just the ground. This one is great for surveyors doing topos. It will get rid of any data that is vegetation, any data that is just not important to what you need to do. Very similar to most other things, you will select the point cloud first. You will select the tool, split ground points. You're going to adjust the slope to match what is out there. If you know there's a valley and you want that in it, you're going to move the slope up. And if it's a concrete slab, you're going to move it to flat. And we'll show you that here in a second. If you are doing a vertical surface, you can actually change the X or Y to clean out just that vertical surface that you want. You will then choose which point clouds you want to create or don't create. Select preview as always. And if you're happy, select OK. We'll show you that right now. All right, so this is Donkey Creek in Gig Harbor, Washington. It's a small city park with a bridge and a bunch of other cool items, but select the point cloud, go into the cleaning tools, split ground points. This is a really fast tool, single button use. We had it set for concrete slabs, but we know that this ground slopes a little more than that. So we're going to jump it up. Hit our preview button. 34 seconds it took to get us to this point. Now, it doesn't look like it did anything, but if we go turn off the noisy points and the points not on the ground, we now have a ground surface. From here, you can go ahead and create your line work or mesh it out if you want. I know there is the meshing tool in surface modeling. For me personally, I feel like it takes some liberties. I would rather do it this way than mesh it out to my qualities or the qualities that I require, but that is a powerful tool if you are looking for a fast way of doing this. All right, walls and floors for people in construction. This is a very popular tool. What it does is it basically does what we just did with the separate ground points, but this does it on vertical surfaces as well. In this one, you will select a point cloud, and then you will select the tool, walls and floors, adjust the angular just like we did on previous. Choose which point cloud you want to create. As always, select preview, and if you're happy with it, hit OK. Now you can just hit OK, and if you want to, hit the undo button, but then you have to go back into the tool and make your adjustments, which isn't preferred. So here we have a building. This was LSAW's conference last year. We're going to select our point cloud, then select our tool. You can adjust the angular error for both the walls and the floors. You mostly want to pay attention if you have some ADA ramps. You'll want to adjust those up. I know there's none in there for this scan, so we didn't do it, but if there are, move it up to 8% at least. Right now it's going, and I believe we didn't cut this one. So because it is just like split ground tools, it is a rather fast tool. This is BLK to go data, so it might have a little bit more of an issue. One of the things that you'll find is on the ceilings, it's going to give you two different ceilings because we have a ceiling here and a ceiling here. So it does offer it a little bit of a challenge. This one does, and it's kind of why we used it for this presentation, just to show you what can happen. I can't tell if it's frozen right now or not. Nope, it's still working its process. There we go. So we have several different point clouds in here. It separates it by color too. And if you're not sure if you like the results, you can start turning on and off one at a time on the left-hand side and see exactly how it looks. It is a quick tool to get to the bare bones of what you want to do. This was a busy point cloud. If you can see, that's all people moving around. And this is all the floor we could have collected at that point just because of all the people and items in the LSAW conference. All right, region grow. This one actually isn't under the clean section. It's kind of hidden. If you guys are used to Cyclone Classic, you are familiar with the region grow process under their surveyor tools. It is a little bit hidden here, and you have to do this one a little bit differently. You do not select the point cloud first on this one. You will select the surface levelness or surface flatness tool. And then you will select what they call a seed point. So basically a point on the surface that you want to separate. Adjust your tolerances if necessary. And then if you're happy with it, hit validate. I'll show you that right now. All right. So I believe in this one, I went into the clean tools. We hit the split ground points just to try it out. This is the fastest tool for getting down to a flat surface. So we always want to try the fastest tool first. And what you'll see in a second here is when we turn it and look at it horizontally, there's errant data left up high. Now, when you go into your analysis tool, that errant data will be brought into the analysis and you'll have a much bigger graph than you would probably want to see. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the walls. And if you can see that there's some images still showing, that's not the point, the problem. The problem is there's a couple of points right in this area that will really throw off your analysis tool. Even if I turn off the noisy points, there's still errant data. So what we'll do now is not select that point cloud. We hit OK, accepted the results. Now we're going to go into the analysis and select surface levelness. If you see it's a different than typical surface analysis. We select our seed point, and now it's extracting the surface. This took 11 minutes, whereas separate ground points took 23 seconds, I think. So it is a longer process, but if you notice, it is a super flat floor. And if you want to get some more of that errant data, you would adjust your tolerances there. All right, so then it computes it, and then you can go into your edit colors if you want to and change your bar graph. But it's a much flatter surface to work with, and your analysis will turn out much better, or easier, I guess, as the process goes. All right, there are a multitude of other tools that are available to you. And we're not going to go into all of them. One of the ones that there's a video, and we're going to share the link to it, that a person did, that they actually went into Register 360, took the images out, changed the color of the items they didn't want to, brought it back into Register 360, exported it, brought it into 3DR, and they actually separated by real colors. And that removed all the windows from their scans, which is an awesome tool to use, and it definitely deserves a watch. It's a very good video. Then there's the noise and moving objects. Moving objects is a cool tool. We typically use LGS style format, so everything comes in as one point cloud. So the moving objects needs definitely more than one setup in it. So if you're going to use the moving objects, E57, LG, or PTS, so one of the other point clouds that will carry multiple setups in it. And that is all I have to show you as far as the cleaning tools. In conclusion, they are very fast, very intuitive to use, and I definitely recommend spending time getting familiar with each tool, because you'll end up needing them one way or the other. Douglas?
Mack, we have a question.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We have a question. When creating splits, is there any concern for point cloud movement?
No. I have never seen it. Sorry, I'm trying to turn off my... I have never seen the point clouds move unless you wanted to. With that, you would have to select free. Thank you for turning that off. They would select free move. But other than that, it doesn't move the point clouds. It will just separate them into two separate point clouds. You can turn them on and off, and they will stay right there with each other.
Okay. And next question. Well, it's kind of the same question. When you clean, do you lose registration? So I guess that's really the same question as what we just had a moment ago.
Yeah. So the only time it will ever move any of your point clouds is if you go into the coordinates tools and start changing that specific cloud.
Okay. So here's a question I have. If you've got multiple point clouds that you are intending to register, and this isn't a question from an attendee, this is one of our own questions. If you've got multiple point clouds that need to be cleaned, should we bring them in and register them first, or clean them individually and register them after they've been cleaned? What's the most efficient workflow? That
is point cloud dependent. I typically find that the tools inside 3DR are much faster and easier to use. However, there are times where trees and vegetation will start to mess with your results and lower your results inside Register 360. At that point, we will go in and we will clean that vegetation out and get a better result for our point cloud. So it's definitely point cloud dependent. I don't find the tools as intuitive in Register 360, so personally I avoid them more than I prefer the 3DR cleaning tools for speed and thoroughness. Okay. Well, before we sign off, any other tips and tricks that you might have for some of the folks that are here that are just personal Mack tips, since you're pretty gifted in working with these tools? But just get out there and scan. Remember, a scan a day keeps the sadness away.
So we have a more of a comment from Gabriel saying detecting moving objects is a great tool. Just saying he likes that particular tool. Anything that should be commented on there for the direct moving objects tool?
No, it is a great tool. Like I was saying during the presentation, the LGS comes in as one single setup, so it doesn't really work with the file format we typically work with. But it is a great tool if you're working with E57s or any of the other file formats.
Okay. Well, that certainly gets us through our time here, and we've got a lot of great information. If you check out your chat box there, folks, or those of you who haven't attended our Lunch and Learns before, you can open up that chat box by going to the 3 dots or the hamburger dots that are found in the bottom of your Zoom display there, and that'll open up the chat tool. You can also use a keyboard shortcut if you'd rather do that. Just hit the Alt and H key together, Alt and Hotel key together, and that will open that chat up. If you look in that chat window, you can see the upcoming Lunch and Learns that we have. So next week, we've got a Lunch and Learn on working with RTK PPK workflows that are based around uncrewed aircraft or drones. The week following, we've got an announcement of the new Autel V3, which is just now starting to ship and release out into the market. Following that, we've got Mack doing another presentation on January 25th for the BLK 360 version 2. That's a brand new shipping product. In fact, it's so new, we have not received our hardware for it yet. We're quite familiar with it, having seen it at trainings and other conferences, but we will have that on hand on January 25th. On February 1st, we've got Rob Mitchell going through the Hexagon SmartNet global system. February 8th, Brady Reich will be doing another presentation on other features that are found in the Antibiotics Animal. That is our quadruped robot that can be used to mount different scanning equipment and inspection tools on. And then on February 15th, Jeremy Kippen from our Las Vegas store will be doing an introduction to Leica Captivate. Last but not least, if you'd like to get your hands on the Kuker-Ranken 2023 calendar that Mack is showcasing behind him there, notice that shows a full quarter at a time. So you're always seeing the full quarter of the year at any given moment. You can email us at the email address that you see there in your chat box, and we will get one sent out to you right away. This calendar is a $20 value. It's our gift to you. So if you'd like one, email Noel and we'll get one out there before they all go away. Last year we ran out of calendars a little earlier than we anticipated and had to do a reprint. This year we printed a few more, but we're hoping to not have to do a reprint. So if you want one, reach out now and we'll get a calendar or two out to you depending on what your needs are. Folks, thanks for joining us for our Lunch and Learn. We're always thrilled to spend our Wednesday afternoons with you, and we want to thank you for your time. We know it's valuable. Please catch us next week for our next Lunch and Learn, Wednesdays at noon. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye for now.